Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the 2025 Lexus ES350. This model has the F-Sport handling package along with the Blackline Special Edition package. Huge shout out to Hendrick Lexus Northlake for providing this sedan for me today. Take a look at their website. That link is down in the description below. So this ES is finished off in caviar. It has an MSRP just over $57,000. Now this is powered by the 3.5 liter V6. It's paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Pumps out 302 horsepower, 267 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent to the front wheels, propelling this 3,700-pound sedan from 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds. It has a top speed of 131 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 15.6 gallons. You'll expect to see 22 miles per gallon in the city, 32 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 113 inches. Its overall length is 195.9. It has a width of 73.4, a height of 56.9, and its ground clearance measures in just shy of 6 inches. Now, as we take a look at the exterior styling, this model has a lot of features, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video. Up front, the Lexus badge is also the sensor. There's a forward-facing camera, parking sensors as well, and then a brushed accent for the entire grille surround, which has that hourglass design. Now this also has a dark housing for all of the LEDs up front with that distinctive DRL in the lower section of that housing. And there's also several cutouts on both corners there, and then very clean lines coming down the hood. Now with the F-Sport handling package, it also gets the adaptive suspension, and you'll notice too that this model has a gloss black set of wheels with that multi-spoke design to them. There's an F-Sport badge just behind that, and then power folding side mirrors, which have a chrome trim accent along with a camera and a turn signal. Now this does have a sunroof up top and then more chrome accents surrounding all of the window trim. Now with that Blackline Special Edition package, it provides it with the rear lip spoiler. There's also lower rocker panels, puddle lamps, and then with the F-Sport handling package, you get the suspension, aluminum pedals, the 19-inch wheels, bumpers, grills, and a few other accents. But from the side, it definitely has a great sleek look to it with all of the lines. And then in back, there's that spoiler. There's a backup camera with more of that dark trim accent running through the trunk. There's also LEDs for the lighting too, parking sensors in the lower section, and then more trim accents surrounding the exhaust pipes along with the diffuser right in the middle. Now working our way to the cargo space, you can use the button on the key fob or this hidden button on the right side where this does have a power trunk. And in back, there's a good bit of space. Now you cannot fold down the back seats, but there is a cutout there that you can use. You do get a little bit of storage underneath the floor, and underneath that is a spare tire, which is nice to see. But with the back of this ES, you definitely have plenty of space for the items that you would like to place in the back. Now, as we work our way to the interior, this does have proximity door handles, so you can use those to lock and unlock it. And then take a look at the interior with the two-tone black and red. There's also a really neat trim accent up top, Mark Levinson for the audio, really neat design surrounding the window control, and then there's storage in that lower section. And then here's a look at the seats, where at 5'10", I have a good bit of space. Now there's storage pockets behind both front seats. You have vents in the middle along with auxiliaries, very small bulge right in the middle, so your middle seat passenger doesn't have too bad of an obstruction there. And then at 5'10", I have about a ½ inch or so of headroom, but honestly it's comfortable. I can sit upright and be nice and comfortable riding around town. Now right in the middle, there's the armrest along with cup holders in the front section. And then this is a locking door, so you can open that, of course, to gain access into the trunk space. And then you have pretty small pillars, so it's very easy to see around this general area here. And then up front, this has memory seating adjustments, power folding side mirrors, all of the window controls, more storage, and all of the same materials. And then this does get power operating front seats, which continue to have the two-tone design along with F-Sport up on the top of that headrest there. And it's a low car. You have a small door sill to step up and over, where we are now greeted with a solid and perforated leather steering wheel. You'll notice paddle shifters on both sides, but with my foot on the brake, that button is down below, so we can bring this to life. Now on the left side, there's volume, Bluetooth, and voice commands. And then on the right side, there's mode and tuning, cruise control, distance pacing as well. but you can use these arrows to further go through the gauge cluster. So with the tach right in the middle, you'll notice miles per hour, what gear you're in, fuel is on the right side, and then there's engine temperature on the left, and you can scroll through a little bit of that info. Now you can also push that tach all the way to the right, or you can go through some of the same information that I just showed. However, you can go through additional information with this larger screen. So just depending on what you need to get into, there's also a lot of standard safety features that you can turn on and off. You can go into the head-up display. You have different vehicle settings that you can monitor as well. When you're done looking at all of that information, you can put the tach back in the middle. So really neat to be able to go through all of that. Now on this left side, there's a trunk release, fuel cap release. You do get a little bit of storage. There's also a view button. So when you push on that, it will bring up this diagram here in the infotainment system. So that way you can get a good look around the vehicle before you put into drive or reverse. This control here is for the head-up display. It will just turn it on and off. So with it on, it will show your tach, miles per hour, along with what gear you're in, and you can also look at the compass too. Now there's an air vent above that, and then back on the gauge cluster, you do have these stalks on both sides. So for the left side, this is for traction control, so you can turn that on and off. And then on the right side, you have a few different driving modes that you can get into. So it will change the background for the tach there, just depending on the mode that you choose. Now with the infotainment system, this is the larger screen. You have a clock on that left side, and then you have all of the fixed information on the left side of the screen. So that way you can quickly get into all of this information and go through it as needed. This even has heated and ventilated seats, along with a heated steering wheel. And then you have a lot of settings here that you can go through as well. So not a ton of information, but it gives you everything that you need to use on a daily basis. Now you have air vents underneath that, and then you have some physical buttons for the climates. You'll notice a temperature readout on both sides there, and you have some defrosters and where you'd like the air to go. There's also more audio adjustments underneath that with power, volume, and tuning. The e-brake is tucked away up underneath the engine start-stop button. And then you do have some more physical buttons for the heated and ventilated seats, heated steering wheel, and there's a rear sunshade adjustment. So you can use that for the back window, very easy to do. You get a little bit of storage tucked away down below, along with some auxiliaries. There's two cup holders on the right side of the shifter, and if we put this into reverse, there's the backup camera, where there's also guidelines you can adjust, and you can change that angle too. Now, if I put it into drive and then push view over on the left side, you can bring up the forward-facing camera. You can also put it into the automatic setting, so when you go under around 5 miles an hour or so, it will automatically pop up for you. Now, you can also shift using the shifter or the paddle shifters themselves. There's auto hold, wireless charging. You can open up the center console two different ways, where you have even more auxiliaries and storage. And then you have plenty of storage in the glove box here, where you can place some items. And you have garage door buttons up top, dome lights, and controls for the sunroof. The sunshade is manual adjusting. And then here's a look at visibility. Very easy to see over the right side, and then over the left side you have a lot of glass there, so you can easily see all around. As we set off behind the wheel now for the ES350, this seems to be a pretty popular model from Lexus. In the last few reviews that I've done on several different trim levels, I think this is a really nice option to go for if you are looking for a larger vehicle compared to the IS especially. And you can even get some of those packages for this ES model, like the F-Sport handling for this particular model, which I didn't even realize that you could get. So there are several different options that you can go with this, just depending on how you want your vehicle to drive. With this, you get the adaptable suspension, which is going to give it a really nice and comfortable ride. It's also going to be very nice for cornering. So as we come up to this turn here, we'll put it into Sport Plus. We have it in the manual setting, and we can take this turn just at a normal rate of speed, and seems to be very well composed. I didn't feel any body roll for that normal speed, which is nice. So you can get a little bit more suitable of a suspension, again, just depending on your driving style and what you were looking to do. Now, with this Model 2, we have the NAV6, so let's go to second gear, give it a small acceleration, where it's not going to be the quickest vehicle, and of course, I'm just doing a very mild acceleration, but I could see this being a fairly quick car. It has definitely an adequate amount of power for this model and for what you're looking to do with this. but you can rev this out much more than I did if you really want to step on it and get up to speed. But aside from that, I think this is a really nice model. Like I said, it's a little bit bigger than the IS model, which maybe seems to be a little bit more popular, but if you're looking for some more storage, especially more backseat passenger space, the ES is going to provide you with that. So you have a very comfortable 4-seater, possibly a 5-seater with this model here. And there's really no road noise or wind noise. It's definitely a nice driving vehicle. Seats are super comfortable too. I am impressed with its handling. Now we do have front wheel drive. I guess it would be nice to see all-wheel drive, just depending on, you know, where you live, the inclement weather that you're driving in. All-wheel drive would be a little bit better. Not quite as good on MPG, but it's probably not that significant if that was available. So I could see a lot of people have been commenting on the IS models to see all-wheel drive too. So maybe that'll happen at some point. This is definitely more on the luxury focused side, but it's nice that it does have some of the performance and handling characteristics with that F Sport package. And we're in Sport Plus second gear. Here we go. And a mild acceleration, we're up to speed. The paddles are also pretty responsive too, which is nice to see. Now, again, this isn't the most performance-oriented model from Lexus, but again, we have some of those characteristics with this model just to give you more of a sporty feel while still retaining more of the luxury features. But this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the ES350. I think especially with all the technology that this has, it gives it a very good blend between a lot of the newer tech, so a very large screen here, but you also get physical buttons too. I think that's a pretty common theme with a lot of manufacturers going away from the physical buttons, is that a lot of people do like using these controls rather than having to go through a few steps even in the infotainment system. So with this Lexus, they're still giving you a lot of the updated technology, but they're also giving you what you want with the physical controls here. So I think that's a really nice layout. Definitely makes it much easier while you are driving. You can quickly push on any of those controls that are down below. But this is a really fun vehicle to drive. Since I've been able to film a few in the last couple of months, it's not really a trim level that I've been around all that often. I drive the IS models a lot more, but it seems like the ES here is a perfect option if you want to go a little bit larger and still have some of those characteristics like you can see in the IS models too. So honestly, this is a really nice model, and you have a lot of great features to make this a great daily driver. We have the NAV6, which is going to be pretty much bulletproof. That is one of Toyota and Lexus's most popular and reliable engines. And so you could drive this every single day and just rack up the miles on it worry-free. Aside from basic maintenance, this would be a great vehicle to own for a long period of time. Now, I already have the automatic forward camera set up, so that popped up, making it much easier to maneuver and of course see what's in front of you. So while it's larger than the IS model, it is still going to be very maneuverable and easy to drive in smaller areas. So let's give it one more acceleration, just in the normal setting here. And we're back up to speed. Now, of course, we do have the different driving modes, so it will actually make a difference. If we put it into eco mode now, this is almost half throttle, and we are still barely moving there. So there is a difference, just depending on how you want to drive. It's nice that those are functional. But that is going to wrap it up for the 2025 Lexus ES350. Once again, huge shout out to Hendrick Lexus Northlake for providing this sedan for me today. Take a look at their website, give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.